Hi.
Hi.
What's the deputy's name?
Bo Johnson.
Is it B-E-A-U?
Yes.
Is it, Chris, is it difficult to take that thermometer off the wall and put it back up?
No.
Well, there's paint that matches in there. I was hoping you could paint underneath and put it back.
Hey, it was free, just wasn't the same size.
Okay. We had to get a new one at our house because we put in a new air conditioner in the summer, early in the summer, and then it wasn't blowing, or maybe it was, I don't know. But anyway, the air conditioner fan would never shut off. So when the heating season came, that thing was still going.
Yeah.
It was right outside the window where I sit and work on the computer, and I could see it going, and I kept hearing this noise, what's that noise, is that noise? And I looked, yeah, there is. So anyway, we had to call and get service on it, and what they did was replace the thermostat, so.
Yeah, electronics probably shorted down inside.
I don't know. I thought, I knew it was, I had knowledge that it was new, so it should have worked just fine, but anyway, I wasn't expecting that, but, it was probably the least expensive thing that could have been fixed, but it was still quite expensive. I think it was close to $300 for the service call and the new thermostat and the installation. So,
Service call, what it gets you?
I think they charged, actually it's kind of like you charged twice. It wasn't just the service call, it was also a charge for installation, which to me that's part of the service call.
Yeah.
So.
Should have been anyway.
Now that's the light that I thought was on last night.
Yeah, motion light.
When I went out.
Sorry, I held up.
Okay.
Traffic's pain in the butt coming back. Is this one for me?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
So you let Linda know when he's here?
Just Princeton. Yeah, I can go.
That just keeps getting worse.
We got to had somebody in a tractor, like a small tractor, hauling like a 20-foot enclosed trailer.
Oh, no.
And they're just trucking down the highway. You got two people in there. I'm like,
I carry the world.
okay.
I got no place to go.
Had people passing on all sides, and I'm sitting there like, as soon as I do that, I'll get pulled over. I'm not
You're
even
live,
trying.
isn't it? I'm sorry for doing that.
Yeah.
morning, everyone. Village of Bellmont Board Trustee meeting, November 19th, 11 a.m. Sorry for running a little bit late, guys.
Shall we say it's 11:11?
Yes, ma'am, thank you. I'd like to do a roll call, please.
Dylan Woods.
Peggy Walling, here. Barb Bruce, here.
Linda Johnson here.
Claudia Dan Clerk.
Bruce Roberts here.
Thank you. Can we do the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First, I'd like to announce that we have a resignation of a trustee. Leon Raver has resigned. And we have a certified letter from him saying so. Does the board accept his resignation?
I move to accept the resignation.
Oh, you were asking, sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
A second.
And I accept it also. Here's a copy of it, and I would need that back from my files, please. And so we did have 3 votes on that. And Barbie, did you say?
Yes, I'll accept.
Okay, thank you. Next, everyone has received the minutes for September and a quorum, no quorum October, November 12th. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from those dates?
I'll move to approve the minutes for September and October and November. Or I guess September and October.
Yeah, there really is no quorum.
We're November.
Yes, And do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. May I have approval of closed session minutes for September?
I'll make a motion to approve the closed minutes for September.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. May I have approval of bills and financials, which you all have had for some time now, and then the newest draft that came out this past weekend. Approval of
And
bills
the new
fin-
what?
The draft and the original is on the table today for October and November. May I have a motion, please?
I'll move to approve the financials for October and November.
I'll second. All in favor? Roll call vote, please.
Dylan Woods, aye.
Peggy Walling, aye. Barb Bruce, aye.
And then me, yes, aye. Okay, Peggy, could you give us a water report, please?
Oh, sure. Today's readings on the 19th, we had 1.8 at the tower, 1.2 at City Hall. Tower level's 119, and that was at 6:50 this morning. Pressure's been good at both wells. We used 13,340 gallons between 2 people.
13,400.
Between 2 wells.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
The 2 wells. Things are looking good.
Alrighty, and do we have any other reports from the trustees?
Shelter House has been really busy this fall. That booked, I think, 4 weekends in November. We had several people use it October and in September. Things have wound down with the recreational league for now with winter approaching. We did have a tournament scheduled, but with the forecast of rain. But things are looking really good. We've got the concrete poured and everything up for the dugouts to be finished in the spring. And everything's moving in a positive direction. Things have been painted and cleaned out, and so things are moving along.
Sounds good. Anything else added?
Been getting a lot of comments from people around town about how nice it looks and how they really appreciate all the volunteers and the new board working, and to Dennis Rager for all of his work, kind of getting things started or at the beginning of it, really appreciating what he's done.
Yes, I do want to note that Dennis is not doing well, and we do need to take in consideration all the work he has done for the village, and we'll move more toward recognition on that in the next couple of months.
Good.
I mean, even go back to the fire department, my dad worked with him in the 60s, as probably your dad did and family, of getting the volunteer fire department established and going here.
Okay,
He's really been an asset to the community.
alrighty. I handed out the TNT proposal some time ago for us to review, and then I did receive a notice. It would be in your older
It would have been in your
Oh.
package.
Okay.
You saying T and T?
TNT disposal. And then Republic, I contacted them and asked them for their new proposal, and I did hand that out for you all today to review. Just got it to me, and they are wanting to renew our old contract for 5 years, and so we'll take that in consideration also.
Is that what this City of Robinson thing
Uh-huh.
is?
He just gave me a copy of what they just renewed that with City of Robinson. Normally they write it up, I think is the way he explained it, but because of that's how they did it this year, that he would just send that on to me and offer me the same program. So we'll review that, and then next month I'll put it on the agenda for us to take a vote on. If you guys will review it and do the math and see what you think is best. I do want to remind you that when we review our bills, when people don't pay their trash, we're just about short every time. And one thing that he did stress to me is that the second, I don't want to call it canister, but trash can that we supply, that we need to be charging that additionally if they want the second one. That we need to give them the option, do they want a second one, and then charge them that additional $5, because we have been absorbing that cost for some time now, the whole time that I've been here. So we probably want to ratify that. And so if we keep that in consideration with what TNT has offered also, TNT also, it would be the same principle.
Were you able to find out if TNT has the arms that come down and pick it up?
They do
or
have a
if-
truck, yeah.
So things don't necessarily have to be bagged?
No, they do
Okay.
not,
That was one of my major concerns.
yes.
I have a question. If someone owns their own trash can, but it's put out and that's a second track, are they charged the extra $5 for the disposal of that trash, even though they own their own trash can, their second one?
Yes, they would be charged for anything above the one trash can,
Okay.
if we agree with their contract.
Okay.
And that would be on both companies. And, yeah, so, and like I said, review that, and we'll put it on the agenda next month to take a vote. Ours does not expire until January of '25. And then, of course, TNT would be a new service for them. And they're eager to get our business, and they are local. So,
That's Robinson's expiration date, I thought.
the DCO grant, that is the one that we have been applying for the whole new water system. That has been backed up now. I think I explained at the September meeting that they had now, the price was $2 million. The DCEO had brought down their grant to $1 million instead of the 1.5, and so they are asking us to consider the 2 stages, do half the town, then the other half of the town. That means reapplication. They did clarify that it would only be 1 engineer fee, because that's what I was concerned too. If we're applying for a new grant, do we have a second engineer fee? We would not. It would all be included on that first one and payable on the second one, I believe is what they explained. But everything has been put on hold at this time, and then they will reapply for the permit next year, and we will continue moving forward on that. On
At the
DCO.
beginning of the year, or
In the beginning of the year.
at the beginning of 2025?
I had wrote in my notes that Dennis had asked for some dirt, we did not have dirt to give him, but I think he did find a source. And then unfortunately, he's not able to work anymore on that, so come spring, we'll let that board take care of that dirt. He was needing it for the ball field. And we had gotten a little bit of dirt, but not enough to supply what they were needing. We relocated the burn pile. It is no longer going to be at the park and is at the lagoon, a specific area in the lagoon where we'll be burning our stuff. That, again, that's just the brush and so forth that comes down during storms or what we have to cut down and so forth. I did want to note that Chris had mentioned to me that he would be willing, as a city worker, to pick up storm branches and so forth that along the side of the road. And did you also say on occasions where people knew they were having, and they didn't have a burn pile, that you would pick that up?
To an extent.
To an extent.
If they just have a limb come down out of a tree or something, put it out by
If
the
they
road.
notify us and let us know, then Chris would be able to do that. Unless any of you have a problem with that.
I think it's a great service for
I
our
do too.
community.
I do too.
I wanted to address the harassment nuisance that has been taking place in the village. Those nuisances, those harassments need to be reported to the sheriff deputy at any time and every time, and then also report it to me, so I'm very much aware. Okay? The bus stop parking lot on Main Street, I think that we need to consider going ahead and getting that concrete out of that, what used to be the rock bed. And since we've all got it moved, and getting that concrete out of there and actually graveling it and making it a parking place for the parents, so they can come in and get off the road, so we don't worry about traffic coming in and out of there. That would mean us purchasing rock, the motor fuel tax money to put in there. Actually, I think we have enough rock to probably take care of that situation. And that is something that I can go to the school board and ask them, would they think that would be a better idea. It's very congested there at the school time zones, and so that was something I thought we could do with that area. Or we could just pick that area up, clean it up, and grass it. That gives us a little more to mow, but that's not a problem.
So we're talking about getting rock for motor fuel.
Yeah,
To
motor fuel tax for a
gravel.
parking lot, school
Okay,
parking lot.
for a parking lot. Okay.
And that would be next year's resolution.
Okay, I didn't know if you meant buying our rock that we have from motor fuel
Oh,
tax
no.
to put there, but we
No,
can
actually,
use motor fuel
if we-
for a parking lot.
Yeah, if we
Okay.
wanted to do that, we could, because it's already paid for, and
Uh-huh.
it's used in the city limits, so that's not a
Then we
problem.
would buy it from ourselves, from the motor fuel
Yeah.
tax fund and put it in
Um,
general, okay.
And speaking of that, we have purchased, the regular funds account has purchased 3.5 tons of rock for the rock Park Road on the other side of the cemetery. And that I did check with motor fuel tax funds about that, and so we've issued a invoice, and Lorraine's taking care of that. It might even be in the bills today. I can't
Okay.
remember, but I know I did do that. And that was approved. And if we continue to take more, then we will produce another invoice. And currently, I got the current rate from Mr. Bailey, and it's all documented that way.
Okay. Sounds good.
We had a water ordinance violation. I want to remind us all that we cannot supply water to another residential area. If someone has a water leak, or they're turned off for the day with something other than a gallon of water for drinking or whatever, that's understandable. But to actually be supplying water to another residential homestead, that's against the ordinance.
You mean if they have no service?
Right.
If that,
If
if
they
that
have no
homestead
service.
has no service?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And my only issue with that is the ordinance itself. I studied the heck out of this yesterday. Supplying a residence with water is running a line to that water, such as a garden hose. Supplying that home with water. If you're providing somebody drinking water in a jug or whatever, that's not supplying a home. The ordinance does not cover an individual. It covers supplying a home.
We could look at that and.
And I mean, I looked at it extensively
And
yesterday.
it stated just supplying,
Supply.
it doesn't say run a line, it doesn't say give a
Supply
gallon.
line.
It doesn't say
Supplying a home is a line.
It
That
doesn't
is-
say that
that's-
in the ordinance, it
I
says
know, but it does
supplying
not say,
water.
you know, it says supply.
It said supplying
I
the
know,
water. It
and I
doesn't
will
say
argue
line.
that all day long, because I
Okay,
read it.
So what I think that we should do then is to review that and then, bring that to, make a decision if we need to rewrite that ordinance.
It needs to be
clarify.
clarified, or it needs to be, I mean, I understand the fact of this person not wanting to pay a water bill, trash bill, sewer bill, and running a garden hose next door and saying, don't worry about it, I'll cover it.
Yeah.
Or burying an illegal line and supplying, I get that. But somebody getting a 5-gallon jug of water is not supplying a home.
Well, what about if they're getting 400 gallons a month? Are we supplying water?
I mean, that's different.
when you
I don't know what it is. I'm just going off the ordinance itself,
So you're
how it
thinking that
states,
needs
and
to
I
be-
contacted Joe Judge to ask him as well.
Uh-huh.
And I'm still waiting on a full response, but from the water department itself, I have plenty of people that work for Mount Carmel Water Department, that they also have that whole supplying of another residence. It's illegal.
Yeah,
However, supplying a residence is running a line to that residence, not them getting it. Because I can go to Walmart and get a jug of water.
sure, yeah.
I mean, I can go to Walmart and get a 5-gallon jug. Heck, I mean, there's many ways of getting that water, but the ordinance specifically states supplying. And
So we
where
probably
it
need to get that
doesn't
ordinance.
state what type of supply, in town use, supply means running water to that location, whether it be by garden hose, by other line, by other means necessary. But somebody comes saying, hey, can I get a gallon, 5-gallon jug or whatever, but, and I don't know the ins and outs. I'm just going based off of the information at hand. I don't know the depths of it. I just went over the ordinance itself. And I believe that ordinance to be very inadequate in enforcement.
Okay,
We can't go after any individual for supply, anybody in this town. I mean, like, even down here, if Randy didn't want to pay his bill and I ran my garden hose over and said, hey, here you go, yeah, that is 100% wrong. But now, like you said, if his water main broke or whatever and he was out and I come down here and say, hey, can I run a line over to him while he's getting that fixed, that's a different story. But I think we really need to look.
how would you supply water through a water hose to someone else if you're not actually tapping into their line?
It gets done a lot in Evansville, Princeton, different places. I used to
You can
work.
hook onto your spigot and their spigot,
And
that
backflush.
line goes both ways.
Yeah,
Well, we've got ordinance on that too about the backflush, so.
yeah. So
Let's review that.
Yeah.
And if we need to rewrite that ordinance, we will, because, especially in small towns like this, we do have, what we call squatters that steal water, that do not pay a bill at all. And then when you start considering someone is, stealing water or, being supplied illegally with 400, 500 gallons of water.
but we can't really prove that.
Well, we can't because, we read meters,
Right, but you don't know where
So-
that water went. Because,
Okay.
like,
But if you
I may
witness it-
use 20,000.
If you witness water being moved, then you know what's happening.
All right.
So, we can look at that
Yeah,
ordinance.
we need
and-
to review it.
and
And I mean, that's just
right,
from my
rewrite it,
personal
sure.
reading, because I've been reading through the ordinances to try to learn them
Sure.
myself. And there's quite a few that need to either be rewritten or gone.
Okay.
They're honestly,
If you'll give me
They're a
a
little
list
much.
of the ones that you think are not up to par, I will be having our attorney review those also.
okay,
And so we'll know where we need to go from this.
okay.
Heaven forbid to hand you a
So
bottle of
in-
water.
Pardon me, sir. And so then, on my notes was election packages, and of course they're come and gone. We did have some storm damage, and Chris did pick up what we did. Chris and I both helped on that. And that's all I have to report on old business. On new business, scrap inventory. Chris has been making a list of our scrap that I need the board to consider if they would like us to haul that over to, is it Birch Prairie?
Yes.
And scrap these things. If you want to try to bid off stuff that is broken and not usable. Do you have that list handy right there, Chris, that I could show the? He's been making a list and I'm sure it's still growing. But I need your input if you think that needs to be done, if we just need to go ahead and scrap.
Are you talking like metal, aluminum?
Yes,
things? Okay.
yeah. Things that just are not working, not usable, and
Where'd you put them?
it's there with your stuff. And then I'll just pass that around for them to review.
I think it's okay to scrap things that aren't usable, meaning they're non-repairable. But anything that's workable, I'm pretty sure we have to get a bid on, put it up for bid.
Okay. And everything that he has listed here is not workable. If there's one thing that he said he possibly could replace, I think he wrote that on there. So I just need you all to review that. And then, do we want to go ahead and make a motion to scrap stuff that's obviously not usable, or does the board want to do it individually on a list monthly or every 6 months or something to see what exactly we're thinking about letting go?
Where are we putting all this scrap? Like,
Right now, it's taking up space. It's on the
Like
side of
over
the side of the
here?
building
Some of
here.
it's out of
Side
the ponds and that
Yeah.
big pile out there, some of it's out here beside this building.
okay,
And it's a matter of trying to just get everything cleaned
The
up.
equipment's out here, and then there's stuff inside the building, like the old chairs, stuff like that. They're
Okay.
inside, but the fence posts, pipes, everything are down at the ponds by the concrete pile,
okay.
which needs to go to.
Yeah, so, I mean, my personal opinion would be if we can't use it and it's just taking up a spot and looking trashy,
Old rusted fence posts.
if we can recoup even a little bit of money from it by scrapping it,
Yes,
then go for it.
that's what I think too. Then I will ask for a motion to approve scrapping upon a given list to the board as needed. And so we have a list presented before us today.
Where's the money gonna
We'll
go?
let Dylan take a chance to look at
I
that
ain't
before
touching
I
it.
ask
You
for
can
a
haul it
motion.
off.
Where's the money?
And,
I mean, the money gonna go? General?
Then,
General fund.
and if there's anything that you don't see on there that you think needs to go at
Oh,
this
you're
time,
fine.
I was just like,
Yeah.
and you're welcome
probably
to
not
ask.
worth it.
Linda.
Pardon?
He wants
Can't
to know
hear
where
you,
the money's
Peggy.
gonna go.
The floor is not open right now, the board is discussing this, thank you.
Is there anything that needs to be like separated, different kinds of metals or anything like that?
That's not worth all that.
Due to the age of all
You'll
of
get
this
less
stuff,
money,
like,
but,
you know,
Yeah, but
common
you wanna
sense
make
says it's
one
not worth
yeah.
repairing.
Yeah, I
Probably
agree. I
parts
agree.
aren't even available.
Yeah, I agree.
So I did somebody make a motion to.
No, I was
discuss-
asking,
I'll make a motion.
I'll second
Cause
that.
we're gonna spend more money trying to fix that stuff
Yeah.
than
and all in
it's
favor
worth.
of the scrap list today?
Aye.
Aye.
Not like it used to be done.
And then, I will have, Claudia read what's on the scrap list so that the public will be aware of what we're letting go. Thank you, Claudia.
None of that stuff, I don't believe, would have been bought with motor fuel tax money.
I don't know, I can investigate that. But even
But
then,
it would go back in general fund.
yes, right. But I can look into it. to
I
make-
can't think of anything there that would have been.
yeah.
Dylan, will the money go in the general fund or out of
I'm
scrap?
assuming that it would go back to the fund that was used, so like she
Moves on.
said, if it was
Okay.
motor fuel tax, it would go back to that. If
That.
it's general, it'd go back to general.
Claudia,
Okay.
can you read that?
Salt spreader motor, and the motor's frozen up. Small bush hog, the gearbox locked up. Old lift gate motor, and the motor on that's burnt out. Blade for tractor, which is worn out. Teeter-totter pipe, ton truck, old something table forms, picnic table
Yeah, the old
forms
picnic
that
table,
are
they're
rusted
rusted.
out, old fence and posts at the pond, old pipe and posts at the ballpark, king cutter tractor blade, or welds are broken in two pieces, yellow floor jack with bay, in the bay, has been replaced now. The small heater has a short and it's not safe, it doesn't work. Four desk chairs in the shop and the back building, old lift station control panels, and there's two of those. That's the list.
Okay, thank you. And so we did have a first and a second, and all in favor of yay. Did you get those?
No.
Who was our first, please? Dylan, and our second
I
was
seconded
Peggy,
it.
and then all in favor was a yay. Next on the agenda, I want to discuss employee Christmas bonus. We can, I suggest that we do the same as we did last year. We went to $55 for our PRN employees and $110 for our full-time, or our, well, at that time it wasn't a full-time worker, it was a part-time, but had the 30 hours. And we went the little bit above so that we were hoping that they would clear the actual 50 or the actual 100. And I propose that we do that again, and at this time, if anyone would like to go into closed session and discuss that more, we can, or we can continue on and do as we did last year. We do have one PRN employee, Ryan, and we have Chris that would qualify for the 100, and then Claudia, being secretary, I don't know where she actually falls.
She's a permanent.
She's a permanent too, so she would be under the 100. And if we would like to discuss this in any more detail, I do ask that we ask for a motion to go into closed session.
I make a motion that we keep things like we did last year.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call, please. On that
Dylan
one.
Woods, aye.
Peggy Walling, yes.
Barb Bruce, yes.
Linda Johnson, yes.
Who was the second, I'm sorry?
Peggy.
Peggy. Peggy was the second, I thought she was
No,
the first.
Peggy was first, I was second.
Okay,
Oh,
Dylan.
that is right.
Yes, you
We always
were.
get mixed up.
They look like.
Peggy, if you get a beard like that, we're gonna talk.
I'm not sure who should be offended. No.
She does have a lot more hair than he does, so.
That is very true.
Well, no, on my face.
That is the last that I have. Let's see, Claudia, do you have a report on the OSAD?
Oslad?
OSLAD grant, where we're at on that?
No, we did turn it in on time. We got one message a few days ago that said if we had any questions or anything, we could call in and ask. I didn't have any questions, but the final say on it is due December 1st, and they would send out letters as concerning who was awarded the grant. They did have a lot of
Applicants?
applications, and they will not be able to award all the money, and people who, okay, and that was concerning the full amount grants. Full amount was 600,000. They also apparently had partial grants that were for lesser amounts, and we never applied for that, and I don't know anything about the particulars because we just didn't apply for that, and those have already been awarded. So we're just waiting until December 1st to see if we got anything, and anybody who wasn't granted is invited to apply again. So
Was that like a first round and a second round? Do you recall?
I don't know. I think it's first round, but I don't know. if anybody's not familiar with Oz Land, it has a long title, but it's for the park. And we asked for $600,000 as a distressed community.
Yeah, it says, the second review will be completed. So there's gonna be a second review. It was done in 2 cycles.
First cycle was those less than a full amount, and second review, as I understood it, was for the 600,000.
Okay. Alrighty, and, at this time, I'd like to, is there anything else from the board? I'd like to open the floor for public comments.
Floor open.
The floor is open.
Oh, David King, citizen of Bellmont. I want to ask you, how was the October meeting? Where was it at? October meeting.
We had
Read
no
it.
quorum.
No, you never. She left.
I said we had no quorum.
No form? How'd you pass it?
Quorum.
Quorum.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't have
Okay.
a
Meeting, no meeting.
No meeting.
And
Well,
I
how'd
believe
you
if
pass the
do you
bills and
recall I
stuff?
come
We
back and
didn't.
announced that, right? I did, didn't I?
No meetings, no nothing. How'd you pass the bills and stuff?
They got passed this
At
morning.
this meeting?
Yes,
You didn't have
did you
enough
hear
board
that, sir?
members to do anything, but you passed it in November, right? That's what you done.
Yes, we passed the bills for October and November
Yeah,
this morning.
okay, so you
Were you-
didn't have
were you
enough
here?
board members for October is what you're saying.
We had no quorum in our October meeting and our first November meeting. So then we had to do a second meeting in
Meeting.
November.
November,
And bills went through this morning and they were passed.
okay,
Okay?
that's what I'm needing to know.
Thank you.
And I wanna know why, every time somebody drives around town, I got the sheriff showing up at my house or somebody else's house. 'Cause somebody's laughing. You know,
I have no idea if
well,
someone's
they
had-
say, well, a while ago, Barbie Bruce called the sheriff and said I cussed her out and everything. I did not cuss.
Oh, you don't have a history of cussing at her or
No, I
anyone
didn't
else?
cuss, I laughed.
Good, good.
When I laughed, she called and told the
Let's just
sheriff
not
that I
communicate
was
with the floor.
cussing
Let's
her.
not communicate with the floor.
I
Let him speak.
reported,
Don't respond, Barbie.
no, I'm going to.
Don't
I
respond.
reported when you dropped the F-bomb at me, and if you look
What
back on your
bomb?
video.
F-bomb. I laughed.
No, last time I tried to come in this building.
No, I never.
You'll
Okay,
get
let's
blood pressure.
Everything's on video.
just let
So, sir, I'm
the
not
floor
real sure
speak.
what your problem is.
and
Are
let
you
it go.
done?
My problem was every time somebody speaks, you just you call the sheriff.
Are you done, sir?
Okay, they show up my door. Somebody laughed.
Are you
I
done?
laugh. Okay, ha ha. So you call the sheriff? You can't even tell what anybody's saying or anything else, but you call the sheriff. That's just like here. You call the sheriff to
Sir,
come in
you're not
here
allowed
in
to
these
come in
meetings,
here
in
and
these
harass
meetings,
us.
and
Can
babysit
you-
you people.
Can you
David.
please sit down now?
Please call the
Please.
sheriff. He
You
said if we
babysit.
didn't remain civil to
You
call
are
him.
harassing us
And
now.
he has
Can
passed
you
the
please
bill.
It's my
sit
5
down?
minutes, let me talk.
Can you
And when I'm
please-
done,
Hold
then
on,
you can
hold
talk.
on. Hold on, hold on,
down.
stop.
Said if he got
Everett,
off
hold on,
the
hold on.
line
Said
to
if
call
he gets
him.
out of line to
Hold
call
on,
him.
everybody just,
Sir,
I'm gonna
I
say
asked
something
you to
real
sit
quick.
down.
No.
Yeah, my 5
Hold
minutes.
on, David. Everybody just hold on. This yelling, this screaming, we do not have to respond. So everybody at this table, I know I'm not mayor, but just be quiet. Let them hoot and holler, let whatever he
I
has to
talk loud.
No, I know, I do too. But you do become overpowering, overbearing. And they don't have the sheriff's department come in because it's hold on, let me finish. It's not to babysit us. It is honestly because the group gets out of hand. In these meetings,
Oh, out of hand, because I talk loud.
no, that is not why. I'm not accusing you or anybody, I'm just stating. And you know for a fact, you can look at your video, you FOIA ours. Things get way out of hand.
How's it get out of hand? Me talking loud?
You guys get to cussing
Because
and
you don't
yelling.
approve I'm
Oh,
talking.
no, I talk
Oh,
loud
wait a minute
too.
here.
This way I talk
Now
all
I
the
can-
time.
now I can
No,
hear
you're
a
not
little
talking even
bit.
louder now. No,
Okay.
that's not what we're talking about. The sheriff's department is
At
here
this
because
time-
we can't conduct a meeting.
Okay.
You're just shutting me down is what you're doing.
No, you say whatever you want.
Well, shut up, everybody. Let me talk my 5 minutes.
And I'm just calm
You're
down.
telling me how to talk.
No, I'm
And
just
Mr.
saying,
King,
just relax
I
and let's
reminded you
talk.
for
I
it
am.
not to
We
be a
can't
harassment.
fix anything if there's a big argument at every other end
Well,
of
then
the
tell
table.
them to shut up. Let
I
me talk
can't tell
my
anybody
5
to shut
minutes.
All I'm saying is, let's just let him talk, don't
See,
respond, and let it
got
go.
absolutely nowhere with that.
All right. You got 3 minutes left from your 5, because you already.
3 minutes from my 5.
Because you
All
used
right,
2,
then.
so let's
Now
do
let's
it.
call the sheriff on
Dave, I
everybody.
have to remind you though, that if it's in a harassment attitude, that I will have to
Harassment.
shut you
Then
down.
shut up.
Are you telling me to shut up?
Well, they were
That's-
talking about 5
Okay,
minutes.
Sir, that's harassment. You can go ahead and leave.
Harassment.
You can go ahead and leave. Okay?
No,
Shut up.
don't call
I'm gonna talk my
911.
5
Sitting
minutes.
Right there.
We tried, and all you
No,
did
you're
was
not.
stand up there
You're
and
still
holler.
flapping your
You're
jaws.
done. You're done. Sit down, please.
No, I want my 3 minutes.
Okay,
I want my 3 minutes.
I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna
No,
close
I
the
want my
floor.
3 minutes.
Linda, give him his 3 minutes and just let him talk, and everybody be quiet. It will make things a lot easier
understand what
without
you're
trying to
saying, Dylan.
Yeah, it
control
would.
each other.
Dylan.
Just set the 3 minutes and give it to him, and be done. He is legally right to 5 minutes, and you know I don't back
Study,
people
I'd
up.
like you to study your,
I understand,
that one too, okay?
but
Thank
can
you.
we not just
give him 3 minutes, but
try
I'd
to
also like you to
avoid
study
the
that.
conflict?
Thank you.
Can I start? I
Yes.
guess I can. You know, it's awful. I know I talk loud. But I get tired of you just calling the sheriff because people drive around town, stuff like that. You lie. I get tired of you just lie, lie, lie. You sat here, you slandered my granddaughter. Slandered her. No apologies. Damon Sloss, child trafficker. No apology. And you think I'm going to sit here and not come to the board meetings when you say you're lying to me? That's the reason I come back. I come back because you are liars. When you tell me the truth, I won't come back. I've seen a lot of bullshit in this town. And all I see is 3 bullshitters.
Would you watch your language and do not harass?
Oh, now you're butting in again. I can talk any way I want.
No, sir, you can't.
Yes, I can. It's called freedom of speech. Or didn't you read that one?
Until you infringe on someone
That's
else's.
okay. Just,
All you are is witches. 3 old witches sitting on the board. You want to tell everybody how to do it, how to talk, when to do it, how to wipe your ass even. And it's getting old. I've had enough of this town. When people sit here and try to tell people when you can drink water, when you can't drink water, and shut people off and threaten people in town. You threaten people. And don't you think we hear about it? And go in people's yards and property and act like you own it. You don't. You better think about it. You read all you want, but there's consequences. David King, I'm done.
Thank you, sir.
Dylan, I will remind you to review the mayor authority on that, and during a meeting, when someone does get out of hand,
Oh, I
the mayor
understand
has
what
the
it is.
authority
I
to
understand.
ask them to sit down, be quiet, and if they do not, then they have the authority to ask
I
them to
do
leave.
understand that
And
100%.
it is not my, it is my responsibility not to subject the trustees to name calling
I
and
understand
swearing.
that. I
Okay.
understand that. But
Alrighty.
I will say this. 9 times out of 10 since I've been here, yes, David and Bill come across very aggressively. They do. And I do sometimes. Heck, I got up and walked out one night.
Yeah.
Got pissed. My point being is, we don't have to respond to the public. Sit here, give them their time, don't say a word. Because 9 times out of 10, I know for a fact, he won't call anybody a name if we just shut up and let him talk. But nobody at this table but me can do that. And I learned that after the last meeting. I mean, Peggy don't say much. But I learned that after the meeting that I got up and walked out with an attitude and madder than hell. That if I don't say anything, they don't say much. So And we've talked about this, oh, let's just sit at the table, let them talk, end the meeting and go home. Let's see how it works. It may work, it may not. I mean, I don't know. But let's try something different because what we're doing is not working. It hasn't worked since I got here. I don't say much. I sit here, I keep my mouth shut, I read, I vote. If I wasn't here for information, I abstain from that vote. But I don't interact. This is the first time I've interacted, really, other than asking a question last time. But I just want there to be a chance. I want this to be so less stressful. And it can be in so many ways if everybody puts forth the effort together. David talks loud, I talk loud, Bill talks loud, we're all half deaf. But I do understand what you're saying. I do understand how a lot of it can come across intimidating. And I'm not taking up for nobody, I'm just speaking from the heart. I want this room to be under control. I want it to be protected, and I want it to be a safe space for all the people, us and them, to communicate and voice their opinions. Yes, I do feel like sometimes you can bring them down a little bit. Everybody can.
Yeah.
And I know Bill Evelyn, I've known him since I was that tall. If you come at him with respect and calm, he will respond with the same. Even when he disagrees. Me and him have had many. We just need to change some things and make it a little more cordial. That's all I'm going to say.
Name calling is not
And name calling is wrong, yes. On all sides, name calling does need to cease all the way around the board. I mean, I get it. I call my ex names every once in a while. It's not nice. Shouldn't do it.
But this is public meeting.
Right, no, I'm just
There's no
saying, it's
place
not
for
nice, shouldn't do
that.
it. So I mean, here, if we want to get things done, we've got to communicate.
Dylan, I can appreciate your effort. I do realize that you've missed quite a few meetings that you haven't seen just how ugly. The last
But I
meeting,
know,
the
I
last
do
meeting
know.
did not even get to happen because the floor wasn't open and then all of a sudden there was a
I know, and that is
So I
something as
have
well.
to try to keep moving along.
I know.
At this time, I'm going to ask, do we have any appointment of any new trustees? Okay, let's talk about our next meeting date. It should be the second Tuesday of the month in December, which would be what day? It's on the calendar behind you there, or, there you go, thank you.
December, second Tuesday be the 10th.
December 10th. Can we try the 6:30, which is our normal meeting time? Does anyone have a conflict with that?
Don't believe so.
I don't.
I don't
Unless
think
I have another surgery.
I hope not. Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and go with December 10th, 6:30 p.m. for our next meeting. We have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
How is?
Meeting is over at
11:53.
11:53? 54? Thank you. Thanks everyone for coming. Leon, he's doing good.
It's doing good.
Yeah, Dennis is not doing good.
Is that this?
That's about
That was helping us down here.
They put him in the hospice. Yeah, so he'll be going any day now.
The guy that was at the meeting that day talking, the skinny guy.
That's his son.
No, that's his son, Rodney.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Dennis is, probably close to 80. It's
Oh, okay.
Jane
He's the
Thompson.
other guy that's been.
Jane Thompson lives across the street. Well, Vestas.
Yeah.
Sister's
Okay.
husband, Dennis, he's
I-
not doing well.
Okay, I got those two mixed up. I know
Yeah,
what you're talking
no,
about
no,
now.
No, Leon is good. He got that pacemaker in and he's doing okay.
Okay, so after that last one.
Yeah,
then-
you're thinking
okay,
of
I
that
was-
because of that
Yeah.
911 call.
Yeah.
Yeah, alrighty.
All right, everybody have a good one.
Okay, thank you.
Bo,
I'm going.
let's go, bud. About to be for a haircut, aren't you?
Yeah.